I don't got nothing else to do with my life, so why not be great? You know?
You set that standard for yourself. You really have to hold it. Like no matter, even if you hear those little doubts, and
nobody can do it the way I want to see it.
Never, and I'm gonna get it. Honestly, you have to tell yourself these things.
You are now tuned in to the CEO Talks podcast, a podcast for all entrepreneurs.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the CEO Talks podcast, a podcast for every entrepreneur to tune in to learn about the daily hustle and grind of different perspectives and mindsets of different entrepreneurs. Today, we have a special guest.
You was having Keanu going stupid, you heard?
What's up, bro?
Nice to see you, my brother.
Nice, man. Yo, thank you for coming on the podcast, man. I know it was last minute, and it was just you man to your word, and you stick. And when I met you, bro, like we never like changed up. Like I've seen your growth, and you always been like the same. Like I wanna work. I'm humble. I show up with what I work. I don't talk about it. I just show up and boom, it's there. So, given that little introduction, give us an introduction. Who you are, what you do, and we'll start from there.
Yeah, for sure. So Keanu going stupid. I'm a artist, engineer, producer, creative director, all that. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I got a couple projects out. Golden Child that was put out like 2 years ago. It's a project I did, but I'm also executive producing other people's albums and stuff like that. I work with people like Safari, Jacquay, Designer, Fabio Foreign, French Montana, Lightston Keisha, the list goes on. But right now I'm executive producing Chinese Kitty's album that's coming out this year, so be on the lookout for that.
You also have a joint project with, I think, Bianca?
Yeah, I do joint projects a lot. I got one with Jiggy Lauren, I got one with Bianca. I like to collaborate with artists. Me and B are actually doing part 2 of that next week. She coming to New York.
And then I think my favorite song off the Golden Child was Two Phones.
Yeah. Appreciate that.
I like that, bro. I actually went to the release party and that was actually the first like photos I took.
Yeah.
Started out Keanu's gonna have a release party for his project. I came and I shot some photos. Those are actually like the first photos. I'll put them up on the podcast right here. But tell us like some background of the whole producing and like what you do. How it started.
Yeah, so I grew up in Greensboro, North Carolina. I came up here when I was about seventh grade. In 7th grade, I came to New York. 7th, 8th grade. And I was always an artist, but I didn't want to like try to find beats, especially back then. Like it wasn't a lot of beats on YouTube like that. But I heard about Fruity Loops. I started making my own beats. That's how it started. So I was making my own beats for a while, and then other artists I work with, they be like, "Yo, send me beats." But I was in artist mode, but I might send a pack to a couple artists or whatever. Then, I started like for a whole year, I would just do beats. I'd be making beats, doing production. So I'll just go back and forth like, all right, I'm gonna drop some albums, I'm gonna send some beat packs, So I just get in my different pockets sometimes. Like people be like, yo, what are you? You an artist or you a producer? I'm like, I'm whatever I feel like being at the moment. You know what I mean? I don't like putting boxes on myself. If I feel like going the whole year making beats, I'm gonna do that. I might come next month and drop an album on you, So it just
this is a renaissance, man. Like you got everything. Like you got the whole persona, you got the vibe, you got the swag, you got the connections, you have your projects, then you have your beats, you're producing. Mm-hmm. What advice would you give to like someone who would want to get to where you are at this point in life? Like if someone out there is looking at this video and like, yo, I want to be a producer, mm-hmm. I want to be just like Keanu, what advice would you give?
The biggest advice is there's a couple things. For one, don't be thirsty. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like a lot of people, they're super motivated and they think they gotta do certain things to get recognition or to get somebody to notice them, not even realizing you coming off as thirsty and you making it actually harder for yourself. So just believe in yourself, let time do what it's supposed to do, let your work do what it's supposed to do. If people gonna rock with you, they're gonna rock with you. You don't gotta force it because you're just gonna be pushing it away. And also to help with that, like find your value. You could be all up in somebody's face like, yo, I do this, I do that, but like if you don't provide any value to them, it's pointless. You know what I'm saying? Like it depends on who you're talking to. So that's kind of what led the production thing a lot, because as an artist, it's like nobody really want to help you unless you're doing numbers. But as a producer, you hold value. Everybody need beats. You know what I'm saying? Everybody need creative direction. So it's like I started finding, all right, I can help y'all do this, I can help y'all do that. But now I got a whole bunch of lit artists on my album because I gave them beats and I provided service for them for a long time. So now when I need a favor, it's returned. You know
yeah, so it's like you don't create for free.
For sure.
But you're also creating with like intention to like barter. Like
sure.
I got scratch my back, I scratch your back.
Yeah.
So that's a great point for entrepreneurs out there. Is like if in the beginning when you don't have money but you have skill and you have talent, show your skill and talent to you know recuperate like a foundation for yourself. So I think that's a pretty good gem there to drop. Now balancing your work and your life. How do you do that? Like what do you do to like balance like studio time and producing time and personal time? And
that's crazy you asked that, bro, because just last night you said you saw a designer pulled up to the house to record. Bro, I ain't gonna lie, midway through recording I went to the room and I passed out because I was exhausted. I went a couple days not eating right, you know, just staying up working hours and hours, and you know my sleeping patterns messed up, so I might like go to sleep at like 12 o'clock, wake up at 3 in the morning, stay up till 6, take another nap. So sometimes people be calling me at like 2 p.m. They're like, you still asleep? I'm like, bro, you don't even understand. I've been up while you asleep. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I gotta do better with taking care of myself because I'll be so driven. I'm like, yo, I didn't make 3 beats today. I can't go to sleep yet. You know, I'm just hungry like that. But you know, but that being said, after my video shoot tonight, I might take 3 days and just relax.
Just to relax.
Yeah.
That's a good point because a lot of entrepreneurs and a lot of people and business owners, they don't look at that time where it's like, yo, I need to take a break. I need to take like some time off of this because it's not always, you know, 100% grind, 100% put in work.
Right.
You know, you gotta take some time for yourself to heal up and clear your mind and focus it. What are like things you do on your days off, like when you're not putting in work? And
Nothing.
Nothing?
I turn on Netflix. I might listen to some music for inspiration, different vibes, you know, before I start cooking up again. I might just sleep. I might just take long showers, you know, go walk. Cause I live in Williamsburg, so it's like nice scenery. I might go take a walk.
Yeah.
You know, just vibe out, like just do whatever makes me comfortable, whatever makes me relax.
Yeah.
Because when I get in work mode, I'm in tunnel vision. There is no relax. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So I just gotta take that time, and that's it.
So to touch base on some of the questions we want to get on, where would you say you're at in your dreams and your passion and your life and everything right now?
I'm in a place where I like to reflect because, like I said, when you're in tunnel vision, you just keep going and going and you don't even realize certain things. It's this lady named Miss Jones who did a morning show in New York. I'm not familiar with her because I didn't grow up in New York.
Yeah. But
one of my friends worked with her and I got caught up on her work and how much of an icon she is in New York. And we was on the phone and she was just basically saying like, you know, take the time to appreciate the current moment because you could get to the end of your career and look back and now all you have is memories. You know what I'm saying? You would never lived in that moment. So I'll be thinking to myself sometimes like, there was a time where everything I have right now, I wanted it. I prayed for it and I have it now. And you don't really realize it until you just sit down and reflect like, damn, like that's crazy. I remember when I was in high school, I wanted this. It's my life. You know?
And is it what you pictured? Is it what you imagined?
I don't even remember what I imagined.
Oh no?
I just knew it was something to the effect of this, you know, working with like the artists that I listened to, working with them, and like having their number and like, you know, I could pull up on them and like give them beats and like, you know, go over their house and like I always wanted that, being able to go to another state and be, you know, backstage at the shows and like I just wanted like to be in the mix. And now it's like, damn, like that's life now. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really think about it until you force yourself to think about it. Cause then you'll be 40, you've done all this stuff, and you'll be like, you're so caught up on the future, you didn't even live in that moment, how it felt. You know what I'm saying?
Appreciating the process. So, backing up that question, from what you know now, all your experiences and where you're at right now, and where you thought, or where you imagine, what you imagine it to be like where you are right now, what advice would you give your past self for people who are like younger than us and are going through the process and steps, like similar paths and similar journeys? What advice would you give to yourself if you saw yourself like 5 years ago, or your past self?
Be patient and work harder. Force yourself to work harder. Because
Why do you say that?
Because at that time I may have felt like I was a super lit artist or a super lit producer. My music was, but then I listen to it now and that shit was trash. But at the time I'm like, yo, this is fire, da da da. So don't take, if somebody tell you, nah, that's not it, keep working on it. It's not personal. It may not be it. You don't even realize it. Just work harder. Nobody cares about your excuses. Work harder. Because I'm sure now, if I listen 5 years from now, if I listen to a beat I did now, I'm gonna be like, that shit's trash. Because you're supposed to always get better.
Always level up.
Always level up. Don't get content with where you're at and think I'm like the best thing. Like, you're supposed to believe in yourself, but just always try to better yourself too at the same time. Just keep working and be patient.
Keep working, be patient.
I've been doing this since 6th grade.
Damn.
25 now, about to turn 26.
26 when?
March 18th.
Oh, it's coming right around the corner.
Yeah, right around the corner, bro.
Word. So speaking on that question, things you would tell yourself like before that now, where do you see yourself in like 5 years? Or do you even believe in like a 5-year plan, or do you believe in like looking into the future, or are you more, because some entrepreneurs that are on the podcast, they're like, all right, live in the moment now, and it's future me is whoever future is present now is going to be doing now. It's going to be whatever future me is going to be doing. What's your take on that?
I'm like half and half with that, because I do think people need to have a plan, but I don't really get stuck on it too much, because you never know where life is going to take you. Things most of the time never go as planned. Like, you may see yourself in this position and then you just end up switching lanes and doing something else maybe way better than what you had planned. But I do know what I want, and I don't like putting time frames on it, because that's how people get caught up. Like, oh, 3 years has passed, I'm not even close to where I get. They start panicking. It's like, nah, like, I know what I want. When God wants me to have it, I'm gonna have it, and I'm gonna keep working every day until I have it. And if 5 years come and that hasn't happened yet, it don't faze me, because I'm not pressed on the time. You know what I'm saying? People get so stuck up on like 5 years, it has to be by this, or da 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 da. You're stressing yourself out. Just work and be consistent, and it'll come when it's supposed to, bro. So I do believe in that, like, especially people in different fields. You should definitely have timelines and plans to keep yourself motivated, but I just don't really get stuck on it too much. You know what I mean?
Like, have deadlines, but don't kill yourself over it. Don't be dead when you get to the line.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, I just can't with that right now.
That should be like a shirt. You gotta get a shirt.
Don't focus on you, but don't be dead when you finish the line, or some shit like that.
That's a fact.
What for me? What motivates me is like my family, people who look up to me, and myself, and in the form of I started this and now I can't just stop because I'm gonna feel like ashamed. The number one thing I like to get out of people and find out is what motivates them. So what motivates you, Keanu?
That's a great question. What motivates me? It seems like such a obvious you should know what motivates you. But I never really thought about it. I think mainly I have a fear of being regular.
Now, what is regular?
Regular means, to me, operating at the basic capability of what you're capable of. So if you could export about 100% of whatever, and you're only exporting 50-60% of that, I can't do that. Whatever it is, I can't be 50% of nothing. I can't. So that just drives me, if I'm in the room, even if I'm supposed to do something simple, I can't do it at 50%.
You gotta do 100%.
Yeah, 110, 120.
It's gotta be your standard. Which like bullets off the what motivates you. What's your standard of work? Like, when do you feel satisfied when you put a project out or when you put like anything out?
See, some people base their percentage off what other people think, right? So say I put my 100% into a project and people's not jacking it like that. They'll feel bad about it. I don't feel bad. I'm happy because I know I gave my 100%, and my next one I'm gonna do 110. Like, as long as I know I went crazy to myself and I learned something, I did something I didn't do before, and I elevated and I did something crazy, I'm cool with that. I don't let other people's view of what I did determine my standard. Like I said, all about elevating. I went 100 this time, cool. Next time I'm gonna do something better than what I did last time. I'm in competition with myself, bro. Everybody should just be in competition with themselves, especially with this age of like social media, bro. You looking at what everybody else is doing. Somebody you grew up with who started the same time as you, they're here and you're here. Who cares, bro? That's their plan. God had planned that for them. God had something different for you. Because a lot of times that person who's in that situation, 5 years from now, they're going to decline and you're going to be in a different situation. And now how do you feel? You want to be in their place now? Like, you want to go back like you thought? You know what I'm saying? So just stay in your own lane and better yourself every time. Be better than last time. That's it.
So what would you say like puts you in the position to think of yourself or like where you want to be, like in the future? Like, what's the end goal to where you want to go?
What's the end goal? The end goal.
Not really like an end goal, but like where do you like see yourself? Kind of like near the 5-year thing, but like where do you want to see yourself when? Because you're successful now, right? I would look at you and be like, yo, Keanu has a level of success for himself, and then the way he looks at success, whatever that is. What would you say, like, if it was the ending of your movie and it was a happy ending, what would you say is like I made it?
That's dope. I see myself in a crazy crib somewhere tropical. I always see myself ending up somewhere tropical. Plaques on the wall, studio in the house. Cause honestly, I feel like later on, right now I'm outside and I'm moving around, but I'm not gonna go nowhere. I'm gonna be in the house. If I'm still in the industry, I'm gonna be cooking up in the home studio. Good vibes, family around, plaques on the wall. Everything accomplished that I wanted. Now I'm just on cruise control, just enjoying life.
Word.
Yeah, for sure.
And a lot of business and entrepreneurs, business owners, and CEOs, they look at themselves and they want to leave like a legacy. Mm-hmm. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? Like, what's Keanu going stupid want to be known for? Wow, that's another good question. Thanks, bro. That's dope. This is off the top of the head too. I don't got nothing written down. It's just
that's dope. Yeah. That's dope. Once again, I never really thought about that. Because right now I'm still in that place of finding the best Keanu. Mm-hmm. So I'm really focused on how to anything that I'm not okay with myself. How do I fix that? How do I better that? Right? Personally. But when it comes to legacy and like the imprint that I leave on the world, that's a dope question. I never thought about that. That's probably something that I might start like just really tapping into. But I want to inspire people to be original. I want to inspire people to be themselves. I want to inspire people not to take everything so seriously, not to fall into the norm of social media, the norm of society, and just individuality. You know what I mean? Like, if you hang out with a bunch of people that do this, don't do that just because they do it and you feel like that's what you're supposed to do. Like, do what you want to do. For a long time, I was trying to like, what am I supposed to do? What should I do? Now I do what I want to do. Like, nobody can convince me to feel a way or do. I'm really about being an individual now. So since that's what I'm kind of working on myself, I guess that's what I want to inspire for others too. Mm-hmm. For sure. I think that's a great answer because that's leaving a legacy too. Like, when people look at you, like, wow, you really inspired me to do this. Right. And
I want to do it better than him, or I want to do it just how he does it. That's something, you know, for me personally, like, that keeps me going and motivated. Like, yo, I want people to look at my content and the work I put out and be like, if he can do it, you know, why can't I do it?
Oh, yeah.
And it's just like the concept of, like, you go to the bread aisle in the supermarket and you see a whole bunch of brands of bread, and you ask yourself, like, damn, why is there so many brands of bread? It's because it doesn't matter. Competition actually makes, like, flourish each other, you know. How sucky would it be if it was just one brand of bread, you know?
Right.
So I like that. Like, you were, like, honest and you answered it, and that's what this podcast is about. It's about, like, really tapping into the depths of like CEO, business owner, entrepreneur. Now, you know, after today, you're really gonna think like my legacy. Like, that's another foot of motivation. Like, I'm doing this for my legacy, not it's bigger than me. Yeah, you know.
Yeah, that's dope.
So, word. What's like a day to day? Not like a day, because every day is different. But like, what would you say is a day to day operation for you? Like,
so recently, since that, you know, like I told you, I'm working on Chinese Kitty's album, which we just finished. But around that time, it'll be studio every day with Kitty, working on the album, presenting records, you know, doing all that. Now that that's done, I'm pretty much just mixing that. But currently, I've been doing a lot of sessions, like engineering, producing for artists. So right now, I'm working a lot with Bass Swag. You know, Blue Got Cash was coming to the studio a lot. So now I'm just, you know, doing those sessions, and now also working on my project. So just balancing back and forth. If I don't have any sessions, I'll make some beats, and then, like I said, sleep in between, because my sleeping schedule is crazy, bro. Like, it's crazy. It's not normal at all. I'll be up at like 4 a.m, like it's midday. It's crazy. But so yeah, like just no sessions and making beats. I try to make like 3 beats a day. If I'm super busy, if I can get 1 in, I'm cool with that. If I can get 1 beat in, I'm cool with that. But just trying to stay productive any way I can.
Word. We kind of touched, like, you know, you said when you have time off, you know, what you do. When do you feel like you need time off? Because the big thing about entrepreneurship is knowing you have to take time off, but then putting it into your, like, implementing it into your schedule. When do you feel like it's like, yo, it's time to take a break? Because some entrepreneurs think it's just grind 24/7 to keep going every day, no days off. But that's not like the most efficient way. So how would you like answer that?
Yeah, like if you could be proactive with it, when you feel like you've been doing a lot of work, you're ahead on your schedule, whatever you have planned for yourself, take a day. You know what I'm saying? If you feel like you're on a good course, take a day, because you don't want to be in a situation where your body forces you to take a day, which is like what happened to me last night. You don't want to be in that situation where, like, bro, my hands were shaking. I was exhausted. I needed water. I was dehydrated. You know, you don't want to force your body to that point of like, now you gotta sit down. So once you feel like you caught up on whatever you got going on, you're good on track, like, you know, take some time, but just don't let it get to that point.
Word. So a couple of the things I'd like to ask, like, the guests on the podcast is, what advice would you give, like, your top 3 or top 5 or however many, what advice would you give to entrepreneurs on, like, just grinding and hustling and being self, you know, all that?
Yeah, that's crazy, because I'm helping out a couple people that's starting their business, and I'm actually starting my own situation. I got a recording studio, 2-story recording studio in Fort Lee, New Jersey. That should be done in like a month. Purple Lab Studios. Getting the Instagram page up and running soon, so be on the lookout for that. And I'm handling a lot of the business stuff for that. But the people that I've been talking to is like, you gotta know what you want. Like, what is your plan for your business? You know, some people have a general broad idea, but you can't really do much with that as far as attacking. So
number one would be, you gotta know what you want for your business.
You gotta know what you want for your business. So if you have an idea to I don't know, like I'm gonna use my girl. My girl started a flower business, and she was thinking about packaging or whatever. So she was like, I'm like, how are you gonna set yourself different from other flower businesses? She was like, well, it's gonna be in the packaging. I'm like, okay, but what is it? Like, do you want to have this type of vibe? You want to have that type of vibe? Because she wanted to go out and get materials before knowing what type of packaging she wanted. I said, you're moving backwards. You have to plan and know what the idea you have for your situation. Then once you have the idea and you get specifics, then you can go attack. So that's number one, just basically know what you want. Number two,
coming from someone who's like a producer, an artist, and a creator,
right.
telling you that they're gonna open up their lab and not Purple Lab, they're gonna open up their studio, and the subject to that is to get artists in there recording, mixing, doing your thing.
For sure.
So I think that's great advice. And you were going off with number two.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of something that I'm dealing with now. So, like I never ran a studio before. I've worked out at different studios. I've helped out with getting clients into studios, but I never started one from scratch. And I feel like this helped me understand a lot of like what goes into things. So right now, I'm dealing with a contractor. Basically, I'm giving him the vision that I want, and I'm implementing it into the studio. So I had to come up with the floor plan, I had to come up with the design, I had to come up with the equipment, and one of the things was the budget. Like we had to keep things under a budget. And my original list was everything that I've seen in all the big studios that came out like 10,000 over budget. So I had to cut. So it was a moment where I had to realize, what are the essentials? I know I have this vision for what I want, but what are the essentials? So I said, okay, this I need. I can't go without that. This, I could get a cheaper one of that, So you have to really, when it comes to financing, you have to figure out what you're capable of doing and what is the essentials, because you don't want to spend most of your money on something that you just want, but you didn't really need that. You could have upgraded once your business got better in sales.
Once you had cash flow and clients.
So it's about really prioritizing, separating your desires from what you need to do. That's important. I ain't gonna lie, five of these is gonna be tough. I feel like them two is crucial right there.
You can try it. You be doing a lot. You be busy. You be networking. You be around.
Because a lot of things come in second nature. Like a lot of things, like when you ask me certain questions, I'm like, well, I never thought about that. But it just be like,
it's like breathing, or blinking, or your heart beating. You can't tell your heart to beat. It's just
you just know. Like how to maneuver. But yeah. So let's go to promotion side. Promotion. Okay, well, for the flower business and for the studio, I have to create the Instagram page. So luckily, I do a lot. Like I do video editing, I do graphic design, I do engineering, I do production, all that.
Mixing, mastering, recording.
Yep. So I'm gonna be.
Hold on. Before we go on, let's tell the people watching this, like everything you do,
it's a lot. Bro.
It's a lot because we're not just we're not talking to just anybody. This is a person that has experience, networking, connections, projects, credibility. You got a lot of stuff. Being like me, being like a fan, listening to your music. I have all your projects, your projects that you did with Jerry. We have produced I got a big list of, if I search Keanu on my phone on Apple Music.
That's love.
So let's just go recap it, because artist, producer involves mixing, mastering.
So I produce my own beats, which means
producing beats, because not only producing is cutting with the vocals and pressing the start button and end, and then mixing it. You also
that's more so.
What do you call that thing?
That's more so engineering. When you're recording and you're mixing, that's more so engineering. So I produce, I make beats, I produce my own records, but then I also executive produce other people's projects, which means just doing the beats, putting this would go good with this. It should be placed this part on the album. You should get this person on it, A&R producing and shit like that. Then I engineer. like the person that hits record, the person that sets up the mic in the studio, whatever, and then I mix, which is making sure that the vocals is like at the right volume and at the right EQ and compression with the beat, and make sure it sounds good. I do graphics, like
you master too.
I master too.
Speak more about that, like what that is.
So mastering is just once you get your mix. So the loudest song could be is at 0. And once you get your mix, you want to mix below 0, so that you can hear everything clearly and it doesn't sound. If you ever hear like a speaker that's like not supposed to be
like the
loud,
beat doesn't match the vocals when it's coming through the speakers or something like that.
If it's like sound distorted or whatever, most likely it's because it's going above the amount that it's supposed to be volume. So you want to mix below the amount it's supposed to be, and mastering is just basically making it loud without clipping, without making it sound distorted.
Okay.
And it's like a whole science to it.
So everything a song needs from A to Z, you know how to do. Yeah. And then you produce and write your own music, and then you record your own music because you're an artist too. Then you do the graphic design.
Yep.
Then
photography.
Yeah.
I do my own videos. I edit my own videos. Shoot, what else is there that comes with it? So much.
You got a lot of knowledge on like the whole marketing and like business.
Yeah.
So it's like a lot you do. So all that stuff is second nature, but like you said, like to think of it like, damn, 5 things to tell somebody, or like 3 or whatever things, is like, number 1, you say, be patient, be hardworking. Number 2, you said, what was number 2? I forgot.
They gonna have to rewind that.
Yeah.
But I was telling my boy Jerry, because he came to me, he was like, I think I want a manager, like, anybody who has any managers I could find or whatever. And I'm like, yo, bro, no, we're not doing that. You're going about it the wrong way. You shouldn't be looking for managers. I'm like,
managers look for you?
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, do you have a project out? Like, do you have any videos you're working on? You got any people's interviews you're doing? Are you working on any shows? No? Then they need something to manage. Like, a lot of people have a misunderstanding of what a manager is. A manager is supposed to manage what you have going on.
I think that's number 3 right there. Yeah. Speaking more for like artists and like the music industry.
For sure.
But you also, any other CEO or business owner, entrepreneur can look at this like, you don't need a big team or somebody to do something that you can do. Or
like, people just want to help people that's already helping themselves.
Yes. Yeah. So that kind of what it says. So like, let's say you're a photographer, you're not going to need somebody to help manage you and your clients when you really don't have a portfolio.
Because a manager's going to take your stuff and bring it somewhere. If you don't have anything for them to bring, then what are they going to do?
No point. You can just do it yourself.
Yeah, for sure. People are looking for like a babysitter.
I think number 3 is don't rely. Yeah, don't rely on nobody.
That's a fact.
Yeah, I think that's a good number 3. You see, we just came across number 3 with 5.
I feel like if I just talk about different things I had to experience, the gems is gonna come in between.
Yeah,
it's like it just happens like that.
What would be number 2? Like like 2 more things.
Okay.
So we have 3.
Let me think of different people I work with, because I work with a lot of people. So let's talk about my boy Hershey. I shout out my boy Hershey. So I went to school with my boy. His name was Andrew, but we call him Hershey. I've known him since around the time I started doing music. He always been supporting me and all that. And he was like, yo, what could I do to help? Like I said, creating value. Yeah. He didn't really have a skill or whatever, but he wanted to be involved. So I was like, yo, I need visuals. I'm shooting on my own videos. I'm doing on my own photo shoots, If you could help with the visuals, get you a camera and learn all that, that would be helpful. He went with his own money, bought him a camera, bought him a laptop. He asked me what software to put on it. I told him the software. I taught him how to take pictures and do videos and different settings he need to do. I put him on the videos and all that. He learned that in like a month. So every time I go to North Carolina, he'll get flicks of me, and I see him getting better and better and better. And it's like, I guess this is another gem, is like, if you're associated with somebody who's doing something, maybe you don't have a business, but you want to get associated with somebody who was doing a business, and you don't know how you could be in the mix, you need to ask them, what is it that they need that they don't have? You know what I'm saying? Don't be trying to be like, oh, I want to hang around, I want to be at all the shows, I want to be in the studio, I want to be on the tour bus, I want to be in the meetings, and you don't do nothing. Figure out what they need from you And I promise you, you'll be in every room because now you're a necessity. You can't be leech. You can't be a leech. You know, that's just going to be a turn off for anybody you're working with. So find out what, if you don't have a business or you don't have anything you got going on yourself, find out what they need and provide that. I don't know how you want to categorize that, name that, but just, you know, provide value.
Just be valuable.
Yeah, for sure.
I think number 4 would be valuable. Like, that's pretty good because once you get in those rooms and you keep progressing, like, let's say you get in a room because you have a camera or because you have skills, but then the people that are surrounded in that room notice you have different skills and like organization or something. So then, you know, they bring you on to like other rooms, and that's how that whole networking and word of mouth thing works. Like, and I kind of want to like talk about it. Like, it kind of leads to like in the beginning, you're gonna have to do something for free to get in.
Hell yeah.
And then once you have your foot in the door, then you can just you know spread.
I think the last one I would say is don't, how can I word this? Because this is like a vibe. This is a good one.
Okay.
Don't, a lot of people struggle with this, but don't expect things from people. So a lot of people get disappointed because their expectations don't amount to what actually happens in real life. So that's where the disappointment comes in. You know, if you have a friend or if you have somebody who you're working with, or that, you know, you think they should be doing this but they don't do it, now you're disappointed. But if you never expect people to do anything, like for example, you always supported me. You know, if I put out a song and I'm like, oh, Marco's gonna repost that, and you don't, then I would be tight, right? But if I don't expect you to post it and you do it, nah. But then if I don't expect you to post it and you post it, it's like now it's just good because I didn't think that was gonna happen and now it is. Now it's just, everything is good,
and it makes you feel better.
It makes you feel better. So you know,
man, you know, when you put out a project, I'm gonna go to behind the scenes. I'm gonna go support it. I'm gonna go to the show. I'm gonna go out there, you know, because you put out good quality work. In my opinion, you know, go listen to his music. You know,
appreciate that.
Write down in the comments, you know, what you think about Keanu's, you know,
let
projects
me know,
and anything.
Man. And more video. I've been slacking on videos. I don't really got that many videos like that. I don't know if you really paid attention to that, but like I'm about to drop like way more visuals this year because I'm like, I put out a lot of music, but the visuals, like, mainly because when I do a visual, it's like I'm doing a lot, you know. I have to film it, light it, edit it.
It's a lot for like video production because you need lighting, location, cast, people, director, producer. You need the camera guy.
You got to work with everybody's schedule so it happens on the same day.
Yeah, organization. Yeah. You need fits and costumes
all
and
that.
It could get like really big, you know, these budgets. So you know, I don't like. I understand, like, it's cool, but like where it starts off is like, damn, I want to get more visuals. That's where it starts, and then you go to like, I want to write down how to do that, and which I want to get into is just like, if you want to do things, the best thing to get it out of your mind so you stop repeating it in your head is just to write them down, right? Yeah. You would agree?
Yeah.
Like, just write them down so you have them somewhere organized and not in your mind and you're going crazy.
I got a notebook next to my bed, bro. Anything, like, it could be anything. Things I gotta do, things that I see myself, things that just inspired me, positive affirmation, anything I feel like writing, like in the moment, that, cause my mind goes wild, bro. Like, I really need to get stuff out. Sometimes I just call people. I just call my boy Jiggy. I call my mom, like telling people stuff because I have a lot of ideas. Yeah. So I just write it down, bro. I encourage everybody to write things down, especially things that they claim for themselves that they want to happen in their life. Write that down, bro. So
talking more about writing it down. Talk about like the process and journey for you. You're zero again, but you have all this networking, you have all this experience, you have all the knowledge. Take us through, because some people probably don't know the steps. Take us through the process of creating something to putting it out. So like creating a beat to a song to like, what's step number one?
Step number one, it is different for every person. But I'm gonna tell you, step number one for me is I always start off with, playing around with sounds. I'll play with different sounds. Once I start feeling the vibe that I like it's going somewhere and I'm inspired by it, I'll finish the beat. And a lot of times, see, if you're just the artist and you're in the studio with a producer, you can start thinking of the lyrics as they're making the beat, right?
Yeah.
But as a producer and an artist, I have the beat software open, and then I open the recording software too. So I'll be humming into the recording software while still making the beat, so I don't forget the idea.
That is real different. Yeah. For everyone else,
I'm doing
because everyone else just goes in the studio with a beat already. And, but you just made that whole question more complicated.
So it's really different depending on the person. But for me, a lot of things I do is multitasking. So then once I do that and I have the beat done, I load it into the recording software. Then I got the mic and I'm engineering. So again, I'm doing two jobs. Normally a regular artist will have an engineer and they'll be in the booth just focusing on the music. I can't do that. I engineer, I hit record, do what I gotta do, go back and forth, and doing my backgrounds, doing whatever. Then once that's done, I mix it, get the levels right, make sure the main vocals here, the backgrounds, the ad-libs, everything's here. After I mix it, I master it, make it loud. Now let's say I want to put it out. Certain artists got labels, they got managers, they gotta get things cleared, they gotta go through this person and go through that person. Luckily, I'm not in any situation like that, so I'll do what I want. So if I like a record, I'll create the cover art, go to Photoshop. If I don't have photos, I'll take photos, set up the camera. I'm able to do everything on my own because I got tripods, I got lights, I got remotes, set up whatever, take the pictures, do the graphic, cool. Then you need distribution. So this is for a lot of artists. If you don't know how to get your music on DSPs, Apple Music and all that, start with SoundCloud, but you should also find a distribution website. They got TuneCore, they got DistroKid,
United Masters,
all that, United Masters, and then you can upload your art, upload the record. In about 24 hours, depending on which one you use, it'll be out. And that's the process from start to finish. But say you're the type of person that you don't want to do all those things yourself, which is cool. Just have you an engineer, a producer, a graphic designer, and get you distribution. You good to go. You can do everything if you hire people.
So that's about the process. So wow, that's a lot to to go into a project. And like you said, if you don't want to do all that, hire a photographer, graphic designer, a producer, engineer, beat maker. It's a lot that goes into it.
Yeah. And YouTube is your best teacher, man.
YouTube, books, Barnes and Noble, Google. That's why I tell everybody, you can find out anything. Go to YouTube University, Google University. Yeah. It's all up there. Or surround yourself with, like-minded people to force yourself. Because I believe, the more people you surround yourself that are better than you or the same, winning circle as you, it forces you to level up. And what's one last thing, because we're about to wrap it up right now. What's one last thing you would say, leaving off on the podcast?
A lot of people that don't know where to start, and you may go months or years because you just don't know where to start. The key is just start. Just do something.
Take that jump.
Take that jump. Even if I don't know how to record, I've never been in the studio before. Well, open up your phone and rap to the voice memo until you feel comfortable. Just do something. Don't live on excuses. It's gonna cause you to go months and then years and then you never did anything.
So just start, take that jump, experience that
for sure.
And wherever you land, just go.
Keep going.
That's what's up, man. I appreciate you for coming on the podcast, man.
Bro, I'm proud of you, bro.
Thanks, man.
You've been doing this for a minute, man. You got the podcast going.
It's episode 5 right now.
Dope.
Yeah, we're gonna have you on future episodes. Take your journey. But I think you did great, man. I really appreciate the gems you dropped. A lot of knowledge, a lot of. Me, when I ask these questions, I also rethink how I would answer them too. And every time I get someone to answer these questions, wow, these are really in depth. for me, I feel like after this, you're gonna really like think to yourself. It might even be now or the next day, but like a week from now, you're gonna be like, yo, I did that podcast with Marco, and he asked me that question, and it just really changed my mindset and perspective.
It's a couple of those you asked that I'm gonna really be thinking about for a little minute. It's a couple of those. I appreciate
it's gonna change the way you do things, and when people watch this, I want them to be like, wow, like I can't wait for the next episode, or I can't wait to see his journey where he's at on the next episode, because I'm gonna have everyone that I did like interviewed before, are gonna come back in like the future.
Fire.
But yeah, man, that's it for the CEO Talks podcast. We'll see you on the next episode. My name is Marco Sandoval, and I'm out. And my guest,
Keanu Going Stupid. You can follow me on all platforms. Keanu, Keanu Going Stupid, STOOPID. Just hit me. Y'all need beats, y'all need anything, any services, DM me. I check my DMs and everything lit, so hit me.
Peace out, guys. Sending you good vibes and energy.
Yes, sir. Ski.